I even jumped then. I knew it was coming.
You're dancing.
Why? Try to be cool, you know, join him. I think it was like a trend.
And did you ever learn that you are never cool?
No.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
So there's a lovely selection here of your, like we say, your magic moments.
Not be here very long, will we?
This is our first cap, so this gets me as well.
Yeah. There we are. Look at our haircuts, Katie.
Yeah, you had cornrows and I've got the fringe of death. There we go.
Oh my God, look how wide I am. The shirts don't do us any favours.
What do you remember about that?
For me, it was just the overall excitement of playing for your country. I'm not sure how much I actually did, but I just remember it being like the best time. Absolutely loving the fact that a dream's come true, you know. After I got my first cap, my next goal was to get a second because I didn't want to be a one cap wonder. Genuinely.
Yeah. England, the home team, they now reach the crunch point.
So obviously this one, I suppose for both of us, thinking back to it, does the emotion change watching it now?
I think it does. I remember straight after being devastated and finding it difficult to watch and probably talk about. But like that moment there when Blackburns wouldn't start their haka until it was silent, and it was just this ultimate standoff, and eventually like they gave in.
The Blackburns are the world champions yet again.
Gone from like this pure excitement of being in a World Cup final, a home World Cup final, the buzz going to the stadium, everything about it, to just devastation at the end.
It's that moment of thinking, well, this is not fair.
Yeah.
And probably realising how unfair elite sport is, because actually I was like, well, we were better than them and we should have won that game.
England and Canada met 8 days ago. Today is a totally different prospect.
This one is much nicer though.
Yeah.
To take the mood back.
I just remember the build-up this morning of this game just being relaxed, everyone felt really good. I think that was the realisation that we just won the World Cup.
𝗴𝗺𝗺𝗲𝗀𝗃 is going to go all the way!
As kids playing like rugby league and rugby union together up in the northeast, to this moment here.
England are the world champions!
Look at everyone's face there. The reception we had when we came back was incredible.
You're dancing!
Why?
You look how talented you are. It hasn't got any better with age.
It hasn't, and I haven't learned my lesson. What am I doing?
Probably because we hadn't been to sleep for the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
And look how well you scrub up.
Oh, God.
Who gave you it?
Prince William.
Oh,
I
good
know,
one.
future king.
Who did you take with you?
My mum, my dad, and my brother.
Geordie's on tour?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know about you, but I was more nervous about walking in to get it than any other game I've ever played.
Walking back because you're not allowed to turn your back on them.
The amount of stuff, do this then, don't do that. You don't get a practice. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get something wrong. I'm going to touch him and I'm not going to touch him.
Yeah, don't put your hand out, double curtsy, don't turn your back on him.
Honestly, I think my legs were like uncontrollably shaking. Such an honour. But like as a team sport, it felt quite strange to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe now I've retired, I can think about that.
Maybe you can sit comfortably with it and not so
awkwardly.
squirmy.
Yeah, like, show more dancing, let's laugh, let's laugh. They're waiting to come on and itching at the bits.
What bits?
So, I think I just got two phrases mixed up. Like, chomping at the bits and itching to get out. And just amalgamated the two to create my own
Did
little
you realise that you'd said it as...
No, I hadn't. It wasn't until the girls properly mocked me afterwards. They've listened it back and they're like, what have you said? I was like, what do you mean, what have I said? And I was like, but ironically, I think I've said it in another interview, so it must be my thing to say. I even jumped then. I knew it was coming.
How many times in your career do you think somebody made you jump?
More than the amount of caps that I've got, without a shadow of a doubt.
And did you never expect it?
No, I'm just an easy target.
Not bring your swimming costume?
No, so this was after the France game in the Six Nations. I'd broken my ribs in the Ireland game. I got in. Because of my ribs, I couldn't swim. I was like Nemo like this. I was like, I wasn't getting anywhere.
So this was nearly the end of you.
Scars came to the rescue and I was like, I was in so much pain after that. But I was like, I've done my bit, I've jumped in.
You could say no.
I couldn't. Everyone was doing it.
Well, this is what makes you so great and such a great leader because of that. And I don't think you appreciate it from the girls' perspective. Just like most people would be like, no, I'm not. And actually, you were the first into all of these ridiculous situations.
So I've been asked to recall a memory of our time together at England. One of my claim to fame is that I'm convinced you should have one less cap in your world record. We were due to have an 8:45 meeting before breakfast. You didn't make it. Asked a few players where you were. No one knew where you were. 10 minutes later, as the hinge is springing off your bedroom door, you and Abby Scott come running, looking like you've just had the world's worst nightmare, to find that you'd overslept. I suggested to Mids that you were both dropped for that game. You didn't hear that a lot at all in your career, but when I told you, you generally thought that your world had ended. The reason why Mids is a class head coach is he convinced me to calm down and that when it really mattered, that you would turn up. A couple hours later, you were probably player of the match in that game in a famous English victory against New Zealand in 𝗴𝗺𝗴𝗲.
Right. So that's what, 6 years later.
At least, that was 2017.
So our phones went dead. So like I was like best night's sleep, oblivious to all the chaos going on, and then just this pounding on the door, and we're like go into sheer panic mode. So just go to the door, open it, and then it's Fergie literally being like, "You're late. Where are you?" And I'm like, like literally. He's like, "Get dressed, get downstairs."
You'd missed breakfast.
Breakfast, prehabs had already started for forwards. We were like on the verge of missing the forwards meeting, like everything. So then I go into panic mode, don't turn the lights on, try and do everything. Abby's like, pull yourself together. Every morning of my entire life, I have 2 alarms in case I ever
Never been late since, have you?
Never been late since.
Sarah, as has already been mentioned, has joined an exclusive England club today. For those who do receive 100 caps, it puts you in a different level to anyone else. A huge congratulations and well done.
The build up to this, tell us about that. Like, how did you feel?
I think as you get into 90 caps, the fear takes over. When would you ever worry about 30 to 40 or 1 to 10? And everyone was a bit like, oh, are you going to play? Because the week after was Twickenham. I didn't know what Mids would do. I didn't know whether he would be like, we want you to have the Twickenham game. And I spoke to him after and he was like, you would have never forgiven me if I made you miss a cap to get your 100th. And you obviously get a lot of cards and stuff. And I opened a few and then I stopped. I was like, oh, it's bad luck. I was like, what if I break down in the warm-up? What if I don't get through team run? But it was irrational. I was like, this is ridiculous. At the stoop, where you run out to where you do the anthem is a really long way. And in that time, like, just this wave of emotion, like, came over me. And I just remember Amber Reid putting her arm around me. I just couldn't get the anthem, the words out. I was just like, a blubbering mess, honestly. It was ridiculous. I was like, pull yourself together. You dream of getting your first cap. Like, never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I'd play for England 100 times.
What, about 140 times? Should we talk about Fingergate?
We played one of the Six Nations games. Our kickoffs were terrible. So Blaze were like, right, we need to do kickoff practice. So doing it, catch a ball overhead, bangs on the very end of my fingers. Physio was like, just tape it up, because we've got the whole session to go. We go to another kickoff drill, and then Abby Ward smashes her 2 fingers, and we do the whole session, and we both go to the physio, and we're like, our fingers are really sore. 4 broken fingers in the space of 5 minutes, and my fingers have never been the same.
Watching this back now,
Yeah.
how do you feel? Obviously, this was quite iconic as well. You guys being split across
It
the halfway.
is. I think it might be Marley that came up with the idea. Everyone was like, well, spread across the room so we don't have to get eye contact. Apart from me and Scars, who were like, right, you two should be in the middle. So they're like, now you've got all 23 of them. Like,
Eyeball beauty.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Taking one for the team.
yeah, exactly. An incredible game, like, in many ways.
Incredible start.
Oh, unbelievable. And yeah, it just, yeah.
Have you watched it back? Is this?
Do you know what? I haven't.
So this is the first time you've seen any of this?
Yeah, I keep meaning to watch it back.
Oh, sons.
In your life, have you ever seen anything like it? New Zealand are the champions.
It was like slow motion happening and I was like, no. And then 𝗹𝗵𝗺𝗃 were like, it'll be all right. I'm like, it won't be all right. The final whistle's just gone and we've lost. But then it was like, right, I need to get to the team. I want to make sure everyone's all right. Watching New Zealand win, I was just like, it's almost like not again, like it was within our grasp and then it's almost been wrenched away and the sport's cruel, like really cruel, and I just think you couldn't have asked for any more of the team and what they'd done and how they'd done it. I do feel proud to being involved in a game like that and I feel incredibly proud to be part of the Red Roses in terms of what they did on that day and how they handled that occasion, both during the game and post the game.
We gave everything tonight and unfortunately it wasn't enough to take that trophy back home and, you know, credit where credit's due. New Zealand, very deserved winners.
If we look back now, people along your journey that you think have been instrumental, friends, family, 3, you can have 3.
Oh, no.
No, come on, only 3.
Katy, Daley-Mclean.
Obviously, right, okay, you can have 4, 'cause
𝗹𝗵𝗺𝗲𝗃.
we'll take me out.
My mum and dad, like,
They need a shout out in this.
they are
don't they?
the ultimate. From the day 1 of going home as a 9-year-old and saying, I played rugby today, and them going, like, excellent, like, do you know what I mean? Again, at that time, they could have gone, oh, girls don't play rugby, but they embraced it. They've supported me, they've driven me around, they've shaped, like, the person that I've been, and, like, I think that's had a huge part on the player that I have been, and yeah, they've been there at the absolute highest of highs to celebrate with me, but they've been the best people to pick me up when things haven't gone right.
And I think if they've shaped you, then all we can say to wrap up is that you shaped the game. I think the legacy that you will lead, and I know how uncomfortable you feel, you're like shrinking in it, but the legacy and the shape of what you've done for our game, as the women's game and rugby as a whole, is something that we can all just be so grateful for.
Oh, Katy, you're too kind, but I think we've been really fortunate in the journey and the career and the time that we've been part of the Red Roses, and the people that we played alongside of, I think makes that easy to be able to probably do the stuff that we've been lucky enough to do.
The word legend does genuinely get thrown around, in my opinion, too much, but you are a legend of our game and you will deserve everything of all the recognition that will come from this.